This thing is launched live, baby.
On deck!
Good experience. Their heads are right, they've been in the weight room. I would say these kids got very strong this past fall. Just knowing that anything is possible pretty much this year.
And now,
we're focusing on one game at a time, just focusing on making sure we execute every play, every moment.
The Austin High Maroon On Deck Show.
Players, my teammates, we developed a really good relationship over the season.
Brought to you by Plains Capital, Nance Orthodontic, Mark Hart Architecture, by Delta Millworks, by Somanos, by Prosperity Roofing, by Cover Chevrolet, by James Gonin Architecture, and by the Chuck Nash Auto Group, by Tate Property, Terrytown Pharmacy, Innovative Care, Timeless Service, 8118 Dental Professionals, dental care focused on whole body wellness, Sportsman's Barbershop, a friendly neighborhood barbershop, Horizon Bank. Since 1905, Horizon has been proud to work with local businesses across Central Texas and beyond. And now to the Maroon Broadcast booth. Here's David Roy and James Scott.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth with you as always. About 2 hours behind schedule, but that's okay. We had the rain delay in the first game earlier tonight. That only got started in the top of the third. And then you come into it, have to get through the game between Del Valle and Aikens. Now here we are at 9:25, getting set, ready to go for the regular season finale for the Austin High Maroons. Lake Travis comes into Burger Field trying to complete the sweep. Lake Travis has a lot at stake here tonight. Austin High, they're looking to play spoiler for what's at stake for Lake Travis coming into tonight's game.
Yeah, very true. The ending of the district, at least towards the bottom end, has been settled. We just watched, to your point, the Del Valle and Aikens game. Aikens won that. So actually Del Valle then, I believe, finishes in last place. They finish in 7th. Aikens finishes in 6th. So Austin High will finish 5th. 1 plus maybe 2 games out of 4th place, something like that, depending on what happens here tonight.
Sure.
So, but yes, a spoiler, and hey, you know what? It's the last game of a lot of these guys' career and lives as far as playing a competitive baseball game. So a lot of emotions on Austin High side. I've already talked to several of the parents, and they're emotional. So, let's go out with the bang. And, maybe the guys didn't want the season to end so soon, which is why Mother Nature helped us out with a little rain delay.
There you go. That's exactly right. And as part of it, and we get you set up here for tonight, we'll go ahead and as we prepare you for being set up, we will set the defensive lineups first for the Maroons as they get your night started.
Yeah, on the bump tonight is going to be Fletcher Wilson, senior. His battery mate is going to be Osby Contreras. Over at first base, we have Jaden Besa. Second base, Patrick Bird. Third base, Javi Godinez. Shortstop, Logan Kinney. Out in left field, sorry. The 7th position, number 7, Drew Anderson. In center, we've got James Scott. And over in right, Ty Schreiber.
There you go. And so you have that defensive lineup, so we'll get to see Fletcher Wilson retake the mound, who started out the season pretty strong. We thought coming into the season as we headed into district play, he was going to be that ace off the mound. A little bit of injury, a little bit of soreness, kind of derailed him a little bit, slows him down. But since returning to action, he's been outstanding coming off the mound and certainly one of the better pitchers. And I know Coach A's glad to have him back. They did well in his absence, but it's better to have somebody like Fletcher Wilson out there can give you 6 innings of quality pitching there off the mound, as opposed to kind of trying to piecemeal your way through games on the back stretch.
Yeah, 100%. So we've got, Fletcher has had a great season. He did run into that injury bug you're talking about. He only had one outing that wasn't, to his liking, and that was against Round Rock. You take those numbers out, and he just really had an elite season. He's going to come in to today's game throwing 24 in the third innings. He's 0-3, so he's looking for his first victory off the mound. Giving up 23 hits, 16 walks, 31 strikeouts with a 5.47 ERA. But he does lead the team, David Roy, with a 1.60 whip.
Yeah, there you go. And so it's certainly imperative at this juncture for the Maroons to get Fletcher Wilson going strong, although watching through here, they're getting the lineups. Maybe they're saving Wilson for last, and so we'll continue to. There you go. As said, I'm seeing bases staying at the mound. I'm like, wait a minute, is there some kind of change? I don't know about this. The last minute, something or other? No, that is not the case. And so we'll get you the batting order of the lineup and everything when we return. But for now, it is time for the national anthem.
Now, if everyone could please rise,
Right, so
direct your attention to center field for tonight's national anthem.
Well, how about a little bit of late night baseball to get you through your evening? Of course, those of you baseball enthusiasts at home, maybe you're used to this. You're used to staying up watching teams play on the West Coast, but how about a little high school action getting you through the late window of your night as we get you set and squared away here for the Maroons? I already told you Fletcher Wilson's coming off the mound, but in the meantime, let's get you the Lake Travis lineups here to set and see who is going up against Fletcher Wilson.
Yeah, I've got that, David, for you. Leading off, playing center field is going to be Reed Kilgo. Batting second and playing right field, C.J. Hansford. Batting third and playing left field, Wyatt Bickers. Batting fourth and catching, Yanul Molina. Batting fifth and playing third base, Nelson Molina. Batting sixth and playing first base, Ethan Schlotterback. Batting seventh and DHing, Reed Murphy. Batting eighth and playing second base, TJ Hines. Batting ninth and playing shortstop, Jaeger Ron. And on the mound for Lake Travis is going to be Luke McBride.
So there's your lineup for Lake Travis, and the stage is set. We've talked about it coming into tonight. Lake Travis has a lot to play for. They need a win and a loss of somebody between Westlake and Dripping Spring. As long as it doesn't end in a tie, they're okay. They'll get that number 2 spot in the district, in part because of the overall record. Now, the worst case scenario, we were talking about it prior to the game, you and I, James, is that there's a scenario where if it wasn't agreed upon as that being the tiebreaker at the start of the season, then in the event of a tie, because regardless of who wins, if Lake Travis comes up with a win tonight, they will be tied with whoever is in first place between Westlake and Dripping Springs. There's a possibility that there could be an elimination game next week having to be played before the playoffs start on Thursday between whoever takes that first place game and Lake Travis.
And let's see what happens here. Pull up a chair. It's time for Maroon baseball.
Fletcher Wilson comes off the mound, starting strong, fires one in there for strike one. Kilgo, your center fielder, to get you started here. And he'll take the 0-1 pitch for strike two. So Wilson's not fooling around here tonight. He's coming in and running straight at the zone. He is on the attack so far tonight. He's worked himself up ahead of the count. He'll fire again. That's a swing and a miss. Strike three, and that's one away for the Maroons.
Good start by Fletcher Wilson.
Couldn't have asked for much of a better start tonight. Just needs to do that a couple more times, and we're going to have ourselves a really good night. Now, we talked about the scenario for Lake Travis. They won't know after tonight how things shake out, as the Dripping Springs Westlake game got postponed to tomorrow. As a check swing here, and it is not in the favor of Lake Travis. Goes 0-1 in the count as C.J. Hansford working from the box here. Takes Wilson trying to attack the outside corner. Does not get the call. It just stayed outside, a bit upstairs. So we got an even 1-1 count here for Wilson. He'll set from Buckle. That one's low. And so Wilson will fall just a bit behind in the count now, 2-1. Fires way outside. That one got away from him. Goes for ball three.
Yeah, I like to see him take a step off the mound, just kind of compose himself.
Quite the Maroon faithful out here despite the late start here tonight. As my watch tells me that I'm in a loud environment here tonight, Mr. Scott, as Wilson does not get the call. It's ball four and a 5-pitch walk from Fletcher Wilson. And that'll bring up Wyatt Bickers. Wilson turns, fires back over to first, and pick off attempt. And if nothing else, it'll keep Lansford tight to the bag there, trying to keep that to a short lead.
Bird at second, shaded over towards first, the pull side of Bickers.
Wilson fires. A good block by Contreras. But it is in the dirt for ball one.
Kenny shading over towards the bag. Be a great time for a 4-6-3 double play.
Yeah, no kidding. Wilson struck out the leadoff hitter. On 3 straight strikes. Walks up the number 2 hole, and now currently a little bit behind here in the count, down 1-0.
Yeah, I like to see Fletcher working that runner over at first, trying to help his catcher out.
Fires. That's downstairs, just below the knees. To a count, and then a little defensive indifference there. Or they call a balk?
They called a balk.
Okay.
So that's no pitch, and it's a balk. I don't think he came set. So when you're pitching from the stretch, you're supposed to come set for 1 second before you start your motion towards home.
Wilson maybe going a little bit too fast here. He does come back with a strike, so it's a 2-1 count. You talked about it a little bit earlier. Want to see him kind of step off the mound, kind of settle himself down there. That time, the umpire kind of forcing him to have to settle down, force him to take that beat. Wilson kind of threw out. This one chopped. It skipped off in front of the plate, and Logan Kenny, what a play.
Fantastic job, Logan Kenny. He was already shaded towards second, but he did a great job just coming and getting that ball basically where a standard second baseman would play on a double play depth. His momentum's taking him to the bag, so that's absolutely the right play. Now we have 2 outs, and we see if we can't get Molina here and go get the bats going.
Got a runner 90 feet away. Are standing in at third, and Wilson misses outside. He's working away from these left-handed hitters.
Yeah, that ball seemed to have a lot of run outside. A lot of movement there.
1-0, this is chopped back. Wilson slips off the mound trying to get there, and Patrick Bird, he waved that glove a few times, flashed the leather, and it's almost like he was expecting it to bounce, didn't get enough of the one that he was expecting, and so it rolls past, and just like that, Lake Travis scores one, puts another on base.
Yeah, it's rained a lot here, so this ground is not going to have the bounce that it normally does. You know, water's going to sort of just keep that ball down, and Patrick made the cardinal sin there. He didn't go all the way to the ground with his glove, and that ball just scooted right underneath it.
He was expecting it to just bounce back in, and this one, Wilson fires a bit too far inside. Takes the other Molina brother right on the shoulder.
You know, I think they're cousins. I said they were twins because they're in the same grade, but somebody told me that they're cousins. So whatever, relatives.
They're family.
Yeah.
And right now, the most important aspect of it is they're both on base. And so you have 2 on here, runner at first and second. And that gives rise to Osby Contreras going out to have a quick meeting with Fletcher Wilson at the mound. He's gotten 2 away. He just needs to get 1 more here. Let's see if he can do that here. Wilson from the mound, fires, and that's in there for strike 1. Pitch fouled away, the 0-1.
Way ahead. That's an 85-mile-an-hour fastball in on the hands. Slaughterback couldn't get around on that.
Sets Slaughterback behind here in the count. He's down 0-2. Favorable position for Wilson to try and get you out of the top of the first.
You need curve in the dirt. We need Contreras to block that.
Breaking ball in there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, David. Keep that force on.
Slaughterback just got that one with the end of the barrel of the bat. Fouls it away again towards the Maroon dugout. So an 0-2 count.
Schreiber pretty deep in right field.
You got Scott playing maybe a little bit shallow here in center. Wilson fires.
Tried to curve on the outside, kind of backdoor, but didn't get the call. Not much wind here. You can probably see the center field flag on your screen.
It's kind of lazily drifting about out there on the
Oh.
flagpole, and a wild pitch. That's away, and Osby Contreras trying to pull a little bit of a Logan Kenny and kind of rolls over with all that equipment on him. It does give up a 90 feet extra, and now an even 2-2 count here for Fletcher Wilson.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate misfire by Wilson. Takes the force off, so we got to make the throw across.
I think he was trying it again for another one of those backdoor breaking balls, and it just didn't break on him. Was high and outside, 2-2 count, runners in motion. As Wilson attacking outside again, trying to get Schlotterbeck to chase. Didn't bite on it, so it fills the count. Good job by Schlotterbeck battling back here after starting down 0-2. A payoff pitch here from Fletcher Wilson. From the windup, fires. This is lifted into left. Anderson tracking it the whole way, and he snags it. Drew Anderson squeezes the leather and squeezes Lake Travis out of the top of the first inning after only giving up a run, leaves 2 stranded. And now the Maroons, they'll get their opportunity. We'll set the lineup for you when we come back. You're watching Maroon Baseball here on the Vipe Live Network. Welcome back in. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth. Let's go ahead and set for you the Maroons lineup here as we get you started in the bottom of the first.
All right, batting first and playing center field, number 3, James Scott. Batting second and playing left field, number 7, Drew Anderson. Batting third and playing third base, number 2, Javi Godinez. Batting fourth and catching, number 21, Osby Contreras. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 1, Jaden Besa. Batting sixth and playing right field, number 11, Ty Schreiber. Batting seventh and playing second base, number 6, Patrick Bird. And batting eighth and DHing, number 13, Gage Pitt. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, Logan Kinney. So James Scott leading us off. This is his 25th game played. Leads the team in plate appearances, at-bats, batting average, on-base percentage, OPS, hits, and runs scored. Also tied with Contreras with most hit by pitches on the team.
So here he steps in to the plate for his first at-bat of the night. This one downstairs. That's a 1-0 count. Pitch on the way, swung on, missed.
It looked like an 81-mile-an-hour kind of tailing fastball.
McBride, the lefty, fires. Gets Scott to chase after that one. Down low again, so a 1-2 count. Scott falls behind. I want to see him choke up, protect. Set, McBride fires, gets Scott to chase. And that's strike 3.
Yeah, not a great at-bat there. He looked like he chased that one. Of course, 0-2, you want to protect the plate. But
sure.
That one looked down and away. Takes us to Drew Anderson. This is Drew's 22nd game of the year. 62 plate appearances, hitting .333 with a .443 on-base percentage. Leads the team with a .431 slugging percentage. He's got 9 RBIs and scored 12 times.
Pitch, fired, swung on, and missed.
David Drew's also got a lot of family listening to the game.
There you go.
Got Sally and Tony Parrish, Drew's grandparents. Got aunts and uncles, Misty Kennedy, Susan and Mickey Parrish, and Hope and Dusty Parrish. Thank you guys for tuning in.
And sticking with us through the late start.
No doubt.
Getting pretty late as we're just now coming across and coming up to the 10 o'clock hour. As Anderson takes ball 2, working away. You got a little lefty on righty right here. And it's a 2-1 count. McBride sets from the windup, fires. That just catches the outside corner for strike 2, evens up the count for Anderson.
Yeah, what we've seen from McBride so far isn't overpowering, but I think he's got a lot of movement on that fastball of his.
Swing and a miss. Got Anderson to go after that one. I think he was maybe a touch ahead or behind. Couldn't quite tell the timing on it as well, but either way, it brings up Javi Godinez.
Yeah, Godinez steps in. This is his 24th game played, hitting .250, .384 on-base percentage, .817 OPS, leads the team with 4 triples, 11 walks, and 12 stolen bases.
One count here for Godinez. Pitch on the way. And McBride just does not get the call with that one. The 2-1. That one started outside, almost came all the way across to the other side of the plate and still missed his own. 3-1. McBride sets, fires. Wow. Godinez thought he got the call, tossed his bat and everything, and instead it is strike 2 and a full count. And Javi Godinez is not happy. And Coach A, he tossed the bat. Our young bat boy down there for the Maroons went after it, and Coach A and company had to go and get it back. So a full count. McBride sets, fires, and Godinez fouls off the payoff pitch. And there's the walk. No mistake about that one. No confusing that one. Ball 4 was high and away and never came back over the plate. And that will bring up Osby Contreras.
All right, Contreras steps into the box, hitting .250, .392 on-base percentage. Leads the team with doubles with 7 and RBIs with 15. Also tied with Scott with most hit by pitches at 6.
Contreras should stand in and throw back over to first. Again, we talk about trying to keep these leads short. McBride trying to do the same thing. And, of course, with McBride being a lefty, has an outstanding view of first, has a much easier time than a right-handed pitcher. They don't have to look over his shoulder. So when he comes set, he gets a clean look. As we do at that one, Osby Contreras swing and a miss. The 0-1 swung on again. That time I think Contreras got ahead. Puts him behind 0-2 in the count. Maroons with one on in Godinez. The would-be tying run that he is standing at first. And McBride will fire back over to him. You know, the flip side, the good news about it, if you're left-handed, it's a lot easier to get a read on first. The only downside to it is it's a little bit harder to deceive the base runner and catch him sleeping since he knows that you're going to be looking straight at him. As Contreras connects this one, driven straight out to center field, and that will retire the side. on the pop out over to center. So we're an inning in. Lake Travis takes a 1-0 lead, but Fletcher Wilson started strong. He'll go back to work on the mound and look to recapture that strong start when we return here on the Vipe Live Network, live from Burger Field.
Ready to turn your vision of the perfect space into reality? James Gonin knows that great design is where it all begins. With a passion for creativity and years of experience in both residential and commercial architecture, James knows how to bring your ideas to life. Whether it's your dream home or the next big commercial project, like the new baseball field for Austin High, James Gonin will make your architectural dreams a reality. More info at jamesgonin.com. James Gonin, architect and proud supporter of Austin High baseball.
Welcome back. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth with you as always. We have a little bit of extra time here as Osby Contreras tries to get his gear back on, but it'll give an opportunity for us to kind of get you caught up on the goings-ons of the night. It's been an eventful night between the rain delay, about an hour that took place between Del Valle and Aikens. They were coming into the bottom of the third inning, and Aikens sweeps Del Valle for their only 2 wins in district. They both come against Del Valle. Well, what does that do? That cements Austin High in their current position in the standings. They cannot be leapfrogged by Del Valle. Austin High will finish, regardless of the outcome tonight, with a better district record than Del Valle. And then, of course, our thoughts and prayers with the Aikens fan who took a spill here in the stands at the conclusion of that game as we were setting up.
Absolutely. They called EMS, and I think she was able to get up, and she's getting checked out at the hospital now. Hope she's fine. It was just a scare.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we played Del Valle twice. They took the series from us. Understand that Del Valle has since lost 3 of their best players due to injury.
Yeah.
So we caught Del Valle at the wrong time.
Speaking of catching things, Fletcher Wilson just nearly caught Reed Murphy on the side of the head with that pitch. It's 1-0. And this layered in there, and that's a base hit. Gets past Patrick Bird. Got past the outstretched glove of Fletcher Wilson as well.
And next for Lake Travis, shortstop. Second base, number 6, TJ Hines.
So runner on here for Lake Travis as we get going again in the top of the second. TJ Hines stepping into the plate here for the Cavaliers. And Wilson sets, fires. Hines maybe tried the bunt attempt there. That pitch a bit too low, and that'll go for ball 1. I think the thing I liked about Hines' bunt attempt is that he got all the way down to the one knee.
That's true. He was going for it.
He was committed. The 1-0. This one, a good push bunt down the line to first. Gets the tag from Besa, who fields that cleanly, but it does its job. And advances Murphy 90 feet over to second.
Good fundamental play by Jaden Besa. Not only did he tag him with his glove, but he had his throwing hand on the ball for extra protection.
Yeah.
So Murphy wasn't able, or Hines wasn't able to just knock that out of his glove. So we have 9-hole hitter run here. Runner in scoring position.
Jaeger Ron steps in as Wilson fits this one in there for strike 1. 1 away, does have a runner in scoring position. You know, we were talking about surviving a little bit earlier tonight in the case of, you know, the fact that Westlake, or Dripping Springs rather, survived Westlake, I would say, on Tuesday night. Well, Lake Travis, they survived the Maroons on Tuesday night too.
That was a very close game. 1-run game for a long time. Ended up being 3-1, I believe.
0-2 count. Pitch on the way. That's just in there. Breaking ball inside. And that came awfully close to being a hit by pitch.
Bases in on the grass. He may want to move back with 2 strikes. Wouldn't expect a bunt here.
Bird shaded over towards the bag at second and returns to his normal depth. As Wilson this time does hit run right on the hip. And that puts 2 on the bags for Lake Travis.
Yeah, this takes it right back up to the top of the lineup with Kilgo, who struck out the first time up. Forces on any base.
Now would be as good a time as any to turn 2 defensively for the Maroons. Besa comes in on the grass. This gets away from Osby Contreras. That one, it looked like maybe skipped in front of him and then bounced up and over his shoulder. And that gives up 90 feet, puts 2 in scoring position. Doesn't take away the double play.
You like that 8-6-2 double play?
I would
you?
take that. You know, I would take it.
That has happened once this year.
It has.
Infield's in.
Play at the plate primarily as there's
Oh,
another
boy.
hit by pitch.
That's the third one Fletcher's hit. And this is only an inning and a third into this game.
And that looks like it may give rise. Coach A is going to come out, talk to Fletcher Wilson. As with that hit by pitch, he has loaded the bases with 1 out.
No reason for us saving pitching
Well,
for next
no.
week, because this is it for us.
Sure.
Obviously, we had what Besa threw on Tuesday, so he wouldn't be able to come in, but everybody else is pretty much open.
Yeah, no need to spare the horses, as it were.
No.
You're going to use the entirety of that stable out there, especially for Fletcher Wilson, who, as you mentioned, an inning and third in. It's up to 32 pitches already comparatively on the other side, like Travis. Only up to 19.
Yeah, watching the Lake Travis batters, they may be a little bit on the inside, but I don't think they're over the plate.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, if you're over the plate and you get hit by a ball, that is a strike. So if you're, in other words, if your elbow is leaning over the over home plate and you get it, you take it in the elbow, it's a strike. It's not a hit batter because your arm is in the strike zone. But that's not what's happening here. When he's missing 6 inches at least.
Sure. Misses his own again this time, although it's a bit closer. 1-0 count.
Jaden Besa and Godinez way in on the grass.
Yeah.
With the bases loaded and 1 out. That's unique.
Besa especially is way in.
With a left-handed batter, too. That natural pull side is going to be over to Besa.
Yeah.
Boy, you may have to go for a quick laundry change if that if he swings
That's
away.
right. And we're going to have a little bit of motion and action here in the Maroon bullpen. Shooter, it looks like getting warmed up.
72 high.
Martinez is out there with him as well. So maybe Martinez getting warmed up too. Not sure who would Coach A would go to, but he's got both out there just kind of tossing. Getting loose as Fletcher comes back with a 3-1. Wilson sets, delivers. In there for strike 2.
Yeah, that was 84 on the corner at the knees. What a great pitch by Fletcher Wilson.
Working down and away and gets just enough of the zone. This will be the payoff pitch, and it's a big one here for Wilson with 1 out. It's outside, ball 4, and brings a run across and will keep the bases loaded for Lake Travis.
Yeah, Bickers 0 for 1. Excuse me, 0 for 1 today.
Wilson sets from the mound, fires. Swing and a miss from Bickers puts him down in the count 0-1. shooter now. It looks like really warming up on the mound out there in the pen. Wilson fires this one down away. Ball 1. So an even 1-1 count. He's up to 40 pitches. Wilson sets, fires. This is chopped back to Besa. Besa cannot get the leather of the glove on it. One will score, as will the other.
Yeah, that's a challenge right there with playing in on the grass. You don't have enough time to react to that ball. Normal depth, and that ball is an out all the way. Now
So
it's a 4-0 lead, Lake Travis.
Yeah, I mean, it's a base hit single, but with 2 in scoring position, that base hit is enough. Scores the 2, and 3 of those 4 have come here in the top of the second alone. You do still have 1 now in scoring position as Yanuel Molina steps to the plate here with 2 on the bags. Wilson fires. This is high and away. Goes for ball 1.
You know, if you're Coach A, you're hoping Fletcher can work out of this, being his last game in high school.
Sure.
Certainly don't want to go off the mound this early.
Swing and a miss. Good answer here from Wilson. Gets Molina to chase that one outside. And it's a 1-1 count. Wilson fires just off the plate, 2-1.
44 pitches, only 20 of those strikes. He started off so hot.
Yeah.
He's run into it again here in the second inning.
The 2-1 that's down in the dirt.
Nice job by Contreras, staying in front of that ball.
Goes for ball 3. I'll be honest, I hadn't quite picked up that Contreras really did lose it. For a second, I thought they were trying to pull a little bit of play acting, try to get like Travis to bite and take off. Kind of get back a little bit of what we saw a week ago. Wilson fires, and that was going to be a walk. Loads the bases up again.
Up next for Lake Travis, third baseman number 19, Nelson Molina.
It's almost not to compare Fletcher Wilson to Michael Jordan, so don't mistake the analogy here a little bit, okay? But it's almost kind of a Michael Jordan kind of thing because you don't necessarily see it as much today, I think, in basketball. If a player doesn't have it, you kind of bench him. But in those days between Michael Jordan and Kobe, when he's not on, you just let him keep shooting, hoping that he will shoot himself out of it. And right now, Coach A taking that same approach with Fletcher Wilson. Let him just keep throwing pitches and hope that he will pitch himself out of this. As he does come back, it's a 1-1 count. Wilson from the windup fires. This is fouled. Besa trying to track that down, and that will get out of play into the stands here to the right, but it is a 1-2 count, so that puts Wilson back ahead in the pitch count. The 1-2, Wilson. This is chopped. Kenny can't get over there. That was into the gap. And it's a base hit, and then this one overshot by Anderson. Fortunately, though, it only scored the 1 run. I think Lake Travis maybe misplayed that. They could have scored 2.
Yeah, and Coach A can't go out there again and make his second mound visit because if he does, he's got to pull Wilson.
Right.
So he's kind of in a pickle himself. You wonder how much longer the leash on Wilson is.
Lake Travis has built themselves up a 5-0 lead. Base is still loaded, and only the 1 out as this gets through for another base hit. That will score 1. The throw is high, and Godinez comes down with it, gets the out. Javi Godinez came downhill, had to go up top for the throw from the Sarge. And then Godinez able to land first, beats the runner from second to third, and essentially dove down to the bag with him.
Great athletic play by Javi Godinez. Boy, but that makes it 7-0. Goodness gracious.
2 away now. But like you said, that hole for Austin High has quickly been dug deep to a 7-0 lead in favor of Lake Travis.
And Wilson's really laboring here. A lot of pitches. His legs got to be tired. His arms got to be tired. He needs a break.
52 pitches. 0-1 count. This is lifted. Schreiber getting on his horse. And he's got it! Ty Schreiber! Flashing the blue leather out there, and he records out number 3 to stop the bleeding. Two outstanding athletic plays back to back. Get the Maroons, and most importantly, get Fletcher Wilson out of a pickle.
Fantastic play. Good job. Let's go get the bats going.
Well, you're going to need to get them going. Got 7 runs to account for, so the most important aspect of it is keep adding base runners and keep feeding the bags with runners. We'll take a quick break. When we return, 4, 5, and 6 on the way.
After a tough game on the diamond or a strenuous day on the job, relief from those aches and pains is waiting for you at Somanos. Kiko is a certified flexibility expert and wellness practitioner who provides comprehensive bodywork, mobility coaching, and intentional breath work that allows the body to relax while relieving pain and alleviating injuries. Somanos offers a variety of therapeutic services to fit your needs and not hurt your budget. Relieve pain and increase your quality of life with Somanos. Move better, feel better, live better. 512-800-3064 or online at somanosbody.com. Somanos, proud supporter of Austin High Baseball.
Welcome back in. Jay and Besa going to step up here to the plate and get you started to lead off here in the bottom of the second inning.
And David Roy, before he does that, special shout out to Jessica Scott. She's loyal forever. She made it out here to Burger Ballpark after going to the Red Jackets performance at Austin High today and watching her youngest, Abigail Scott, dance with the Red Jackets, 7th grader. So she has been Austin High since about 7 this evening.
Commitment.
There you go, commitment. And another guy that's committed is Jaden Besa, 3rd-year varsity starter. 23 games played now, hitting .246, .357 on-base percentage.
McBride comes back, fires this one in there, and that'll go for strike 1.
He's also scored 6 runs and driven in 10.
Besa got enough of that one, fouled it off. He started, it looked like it was going to be an effort to check swing, but it kind of got caught somewhere in the middle and just got enough of it. McBride fires. Besa fouls this one off again. This time he was committed to the swing. Just got underneath it. Takes on the 0-2 for ball 1. So McBride, little lefty versus lefty here. McBride sets from the windup, fires. This is down and away, and that goes for ball 2. Can't get Besa to chase. On deck, you have Ty Schreiber coming in behind him. As we talked about, Maroons needing base runners. You're down by 7, 6 of which have come in the top half of this inning alone, as Besa cannot get the barrel off the shoulder. Takes for strike 3.
Yeah, tied him up there. 81 right down the center. Maybe Basin was looking for a curve there.
It'll go as backwards K in the books.
And here comes Ty Schreiber, 19th game. He's got 38 plate appearances, hitting .214, .405 on base percentage. Driven in 5 and scored 6.
Schreiber takes there for strike 1. Numbers on your screen there for Schreiber. As the 0-1 pitch in there for strike 2, and Schreiber falls behind, down now in the count 0-2.
Boy, you sure would like to give Wilson a little bit of break. He worked really hard in that top part of the second. My gosh.
That was in the top half of the zone, top third of the zone there, and it goes for a strike 3.
Yeah, that was way too close to be taken with 2 strikes on you.
Again, Schreiber, much like Besa before him, could not get the barrel of the bat off his shoulder, and that brings up to the plate Patrick Bird.
Bird hitting .261, .308 on base percentage. Scored 4, driven in 5. 69-mile-an-hour curveball there.
Bird swings underneath that one. 0-1 in the count. Can't catch up with that one either. Sets him down 0-2. Bird calls time.
There you go. Good job just upsetting his rhythm, perhaps.
Disrupt the timing. Bride fires. That one's out and away, and a little bit of a reset there for Patrick Bird. Forces this to a 1-2 count. Yes.
Oh, everybody,
It's not in
including Bird.
He thought that was strike 3, and
Oh, boy.
McBride did not get the call, so it's an even 2-2 count.
I would not take that pitch again.
McBride fires. This is inside and in the dirt. And so look at Patrick Bird with this at-bat. Started down 0-2, has worked himself back to a full count. 3-2, had a little 2-out rally. Bird takes ball 4.
There you go, Patrick Bird. All right, that brings up number 13, Gage Pitt. This is Gage's 6th game of the year. He's walked a couple of times, got a .400 on-base percentage. Gage is a senior. Playing in the last game of his life.
McBride fires back over to first. Swing and a miss from Pitt.
That was 81 on the outside and tailed away. A lot of movement again on this lefty.
The 0-1. It's in there for strike 2. Pitt thought it was going to be too far inside. Sets him down 0-2, so you want to see him choke up here, protect the plate. Looks outside, ball 1. So good take there from Gage Pitt. DHing for Fletcher Wilson. Logan Kenny on deck. As this comes back inside at the hips. And it forces Pitt to have to step back. Evens up the count at 2-2.
There you go, upsetting his timing again.
He's going really upset. It calls time so he can step back, tie his shoelace.
It's all about the shoes.
It's only if Martiak's pitching. 2-2 count. McBride fires, swing and a miss from Gage Pitt, and that'll be strike 3. So the Maroons leave one stranded and are unable to respond after Lake Travis put up 6 in the top of the inning. We're through 2, and Lake Travis has a 7-0 lead here from Burger Field. Fletcher Wilson, he'll retake his place on the mound and he'll go back to work. We'll take a quick break before we'll do the same here on Friday Night Baseball.
Hi everyone, I'm Gigi for Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC in San Marcos. We'd like to invite you to shop Chuck Nash, where we combine small-town hospitality with a huge selection of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, we have over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, and a friendly staff to guide you through your purchase. Stop into Chuck Nash Chevrolet Buick GMC today and experience a new way of buying or selling your next vehicle.
Welcome back in, David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth. As we welcome you back in, top of the third, Lake Travis has built a 7-0 lead. Stepping to the plate right now, TJ Hines. He'll take for ball 1 as this one skips across from Fletcher Wilson. This one inside, but Wilson gets the call for strike 1. So a 1-1 count as Fletcher Wilson up to 55 pitches. Luke McBride not too far behind on the other side. He's at 39 as Wilson comes back with strike 2. So Fletcher Wilson settling in here in the top of the third. He'll set, delivers, and this is chopped foul, smacked right back down into the dirt in front of the plate, and then skips wide down the third base side. So we will do the 1-2 count over again. Wilson sets, fires, high and away, cannot get Hines to chase after it, so it's a 2-2 count. Fires.
Oh.
Check swing. They're going to
Yes.
check down the
About to say.
line. There we go. Strike 3, and that's one away.
Goodness gracious.
You saw Contreras think it was a strike, and then he kind of
Yes.
froze up when the umpire didn't immediately call it and kind of waited. Good for the umpire to at least, be willing to make that call down the line to first.
Either way, that needed to be a strike. It could have been called and certainly was swinging. So at least you went in the book correctly.
Pitch to number 60 here from Fletcher Wilson, and that does not find the zone. Looks like it maybe just came in just below the knees here. 1-0 count. Wilson fires, and that one's right at him.
That's the 4th hit batter.
Yeah.
Way unusual.
Batting for Lake Travis, center fielder number 15, Reed Koga.
So 1 away, 1 on. Wilson fires. Big swing and a miss here from Kilgo.
Fletcher's only hit 8 batters all year. I say only. He does lead the team with the most hit batters, but he's thrown, next to Besa the most innings. But, boy, hitting 4 in this game is way uncharacteristic for him.
Wilson fires again. This one down and away. It's in the dirt. So 1-1 count. And
You got to stop that one. That's a big 90 feet. Takes off the double play.
which would have been a good time for it with 1 out. Instead, like you said, takes off the double play.
Wondered if he didn't cross up Contreras. Osby went to kind of backhand that ball, thinking that maybe they did get their signs mixed up.
Yeah. They're having a meeting about that right now, and what no better time for it to try and get everybody on the same page. Reconnect. Two-one.
Oh.
And that's getting away from Contreras, and another big 90 feet given up here on the pass ball. 3-1 count. With 1 away. This one popped. Gets past Logan Kenny, who went down to his knees to try and get it. And that will score 1 and put a runner on. I'm thinking part of the problem here tonight, as Coach A will come out and meet at the mound here, I'm thinking because of the rain and the way the impact it has had on the dirt here, and we've talked about this as Fletcher Wilson's night is concluded. Gets a standing ovation here. Henry Shooter will come in relief of him. We've talked about all season the importance of having the home field advantage and why it's important to have the park back over at Austin High as opposed to being here at Berger, and how they don't practice on this field. Well, part of the problem with that is because of the rain and everything that took place earlier today, it's almost like the Maroons from all season, they're expecting the ball to bounce a certain way, and they're not necessarily getting that bounce, and it's almost kind of thrown everybody off defensively when they're trying to field it. Now, that shouldn't be an excuse, and take that for what it's worth, but from the way it looks and the way the ball is being played when it is put in play, that's my takeaway from it and the way it appears.
Yeah, it's certainly not the sharpest we've played this year, and you may have a little point to that. It's kind of hard to judge because we really hadn't hit the ball enough against Lake Travis, put it in play enough in our first 2 innings to see if it's impacting them at all. I mean, you would think Lake Travis has a turf field. You never get a bad hop on turf.
Right.
If anybody was going to be impacted by playing on dirt and grass that maybe doesn't have the bounce, it would be Lake Travis.
Yeah, 100%. But to your point, Maroons not quite able to put it in play enough to be able to do that. And the few times they have, it hasn't really been on anything where there's a bounce that would necessarily be involved. It's been a couple base hits, a couple walks out here, but nothing to the effect of anything that would elicit a reaction for us to be able to gauge how true this is or how true this isn't. But from what we've seen of the Maroons out here on this field for the better part of the season, on a season that it has felt at times more like we're playing in, up in the Panhandle than we are actually in Central Texas.
Yep.
It just looks a certain way like they've gotten used to, because they're not on their own field, the ball bouncing a certain way, that it's not bouncing that way anymore tonight because of the rain, because of the tarp, etc. And it's throwing everything off. Now, that may explain it in the outfield. Some of the problems between pitcher and catcher tonight, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, we talked all year about the keys to this season and the keys to Maroon baseball is pitching speed and defense. And
fundamental defense.
Correct. We have not played up to our capabilities defensively tonight at pretty much any position.
Shooter sets, fires, and this is in there for strike one.
And when you don't play great defense or good defense, bad things happen.
Shooter throws back over to first for Besa. Holds the runner there, and Reed Kilgo to the bag. Shooter comes into a situation. He's got one away. He does have a runner on, but he trails by 8. And this is fouled away, lifted down the third base side and behind the Maroon dugout. Puts him down 0-2 in the count here. In other news, for those at home, and just because it's Deion Sanders' son, and so that elicits a big name, Shedeur Sanders has still not been drafted by anybody in the NFL. He will go into day 3.
Wow.
As this is lifted, and Logan Kinney throw back to first. Not quite in time, but that is another runner out.
Logan Kinney showing some leaping ability out there. Nice job, my man.
Gets a hop, flashes a leather up above his head, and comes down with another impressive snag. That holds the runner at first and allows Shooter to go back to work. This one outside, ball 1. Shooter fires, is fouled off. Just getting underneath it at the tip of the barrel of the bat.
Boy, that's something. Sanders still hadn't been drafted.
Nope. And what's crazy about it is the quarterback from Alabama in the form by the name of Jalen Milroe and Oregon's quarterback Dylan Gabriel have both been drafted since. Wow. So they went ahead of him, and the quarterback from Louisville, Tyler Shuck, as it were, he has gone ahead of Shedeur Sanders.
Wow. Well, that should be a lesson to the kids. Perhaps the way you behave is important.
Yeah, there was a lot of, especially coming out of the NFL Combine, that, of course, as part of the Combine, all these kids get to meet with coaches, and they'll have interviews and things like that. As this ball 4 leads to a walk, so that puts 2 on. Does have 2 away, though, for Henry Shooter. There were some reports about Shedeur maybe coming across as entitled, just some things that personality-wise just maybe rubbed some coaches the wrong way. And to your point, and a point made earlier today by a couple of, the talking heads you see on networks, it's okay to still have humility. Like, humbleness does not need to go out of style, okay?
Not at all. Not at all. We should all be a little humble.
Show some humility at times.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that. A Shooter comes in, fires. This is lifted, and that takes a bounce in front of Patrick Bird. He was trying to make the play on it and catch it before it hit, and he just couldn't quite get there in time, and then it bounced up and over him and his glove. And so a run scores and now puts runners at the corners.
Well, that makes it 9-0.
Yeah.
And you got to think that our guys have got to have some bit of pride to calm themselves down, play for each pitch, and not leave this last game of the season getting 10 run. You certainly don't want to just roll over.
Sure. We do have a courtesy runner over at first. Contreras fires. There's a play on first and third, but it doesn't matter if they can catch in the rundown. Besa, a little pump fake, then a flip of the wrist. The rundown's still going. They've committed everything to it. This rundown continues, and there's the tag. Gets you out of the inning, keeps the run from counting.
It does not keep the run from counting.
It does not? Okay, I'm sorry.
It's a double steal is the way that goes. It'll be a steal of home and a caught stealing by a whole bunch of numbers after there. But, man, we have not executed that first and third scenario very well all season. Contreras throws through, so you've got to get that runner on a straight steal to keep that run from scoring. Yeah. If you can't, then you just give up another run, which we did. Now it's 10-0.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. So here we go. Into the bottom of the third, and the Maroons, they need answers. They need base runners as they trail Lake Travis 10-0 through 2.5. We'll be right back.
My missing teeth were in the front.
I fell off a roof, messed up my teeth.
I would be talking and my tooth would just fall out. That's when I turned to 8118 Dental Professionals.
When I first came in, it was so welcoming.
I just felt a connection, felt like family.
It is worth every penny because you get that peace of mind that everything is okay.
I can't stop smiling.
Why wait?
From implants to full mouth restoration.
Go to 8118dentalimplants.com to see how we can help you smile again.
Number 12.
Welcome back in. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth.
Logan Kenny standing in. This is his 23rd game, hitting .216 on the year, .322 on base percentage. Driven in 3, scored 8, walked 7 times. There you go. Get it, beat it out.
Pops out one over to short, throw to first, is in time. Kenny cannot beat the throw, but certainly not for lack of trying. He was sprinting down the line.
Yeah, Ron's got a really strong arm over there, moves well. Good shortstop over there. Made a good play on Kenny. All right, so James Scott 0 for 1, struck out in the first inning. Third baseman coming in on the grass. If he's going to think about putting it down, he needs to go down the first base side.
Pitch on the way, thought about it, pulls the barrel of the bat back, and that goes for ball 1. And that pitch way down in the dirt.
Yeah, curve at 75.
Tries there and just could not get the barrel on to make contact, goes for strike 1. Swing and a miss here for strike 2.
It's 78 down the middle.
The 1-2 count, the windup from McBride. Fires. And Scott gets underneath that one into foul territory, and that's out number 2.
Lake Travis has 10 runs on 5 hits and no errors. Austin High has no runs, no hits, and 2 errors. Drew Anderson up 0 for 1. Struck out in the first. Let's get a big base hit, Drew. You got a family contingent on the phone. Big following. That's a check swing. He did not go.
Walk down the line, gets the call.
We all agree.
Yeah,
we all agree.
That's
yes.
right. 1-0 the count. Pitch on the way, that's upstairs, ball 2. So with 2 away, an opportunity here for Anderson to try and lead a rally here. He's gotten himself ahead of the count here. McBride falling behind, 2-0. As McBride closes in on pitch 50. This is in there for strike one.
Right at 80.
Anderson took that one. That one straight down the chute. McBride fires. That's inside.
Oh.
Gets a called strike two.
That was a really bad call.
And Anderson will call time as a result.
Wow. That ball was inside. Now, granted, he does have that lefty tail, but even with the tail, I don't think that's a good call, personally.
The 2-2, McBride sets, fires, swing and a miss from Drew Anderson. And that's strike three to retire the side. We'll bring you into the top of the fourth. Lake Travis out in front and in charge here at Burger Field when we come back.
At Horizon Bank, we're from here. With over 100 years of experience serving Central Texas customers and headquartered right here in downtown Austin, we're proud to support our community and the athletes who keep it strong. Stop by any of our Austin and Central Texas locations and see how we can help you meet your goals. We'd love to meet you. Or you can visit us on the web at horizonbank.com.
Welcome back in. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth. Maroons trailing by 10 here at home, at a neutral site rather.
Technically, you're right, it is our home.
Technically, it's a home game. Yeah. Technically, it's also a neutral site. And, it doubles. It's kind of like, remember a few years ago, back before U.S. Bank Stadium got built, the Vikings, of course. Yeah, actually, let's go a little bit more recently. The Tampa Bay Rays currently do not technically have their home stadium still.
Yep.
They still have not received the funds, I guess, to repair the roof.
Nor do the Athletics.
That's true.
Not the Oakland Athletics.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true. And so they're playing in a minor league stadium, and, so they technically have a home stadium, but it's not their home stadium. It's kind of the same concept at work right here, okay? They're at Burger, it's their home field, but it's not really their home field, okay? It's not quite the same.
Yeah. So Lake Travis emptying their bench now, or at least that process has started.
Can't fault them for doing it when you got a 10-0 lead as we enter into the top of the fourth inning. Shooter.
Holy Toledo.
He missed that one wide, and that caught him on the noggin.
Is that our fifth guy we've hit?
Yes.
This is only the fourth inning. Boy, you would think we had beef. I mean, none of these have been on purpose. My gosh.
I mean, look, it's a wonder. Was it last week against Bowie where it happened that every time somebody got hit by a pitch, the umpire felt the need to stand, walk out there in between? You may need to start considering doing that here tonight at this rate. My gosh.
I mean, hey, tip the hat to Lake Travis. They hadn't retaliated at all. I think that's because they understand that it's not intentional. We're just missing inside.
Shooter
big time.
Fires this one in there. Yeah, I mean, it's, last week, it was a thing that we kept seeing it really in both games. I believe we saw that, but more, I think, especially in the second game, as Shooter fits this one in there for strike one, that every time somebody got hit or there was a walk, umpire felt the need to go out there and stand in between pitcher and catcher, or pitcher and batter. And the 1-1 gets ripped into the gap. That gets past Besa, and it's into the outfield. Schreiber fires this over to Kenny as a cutoff, but now you've got runners at the corners. As we talked about, you got to have an answer if a first and third play gets put on, which I can't imagine Lake Travis would do up 10-0, but hey, The other night there was a full, bases were loaded and we didn't think they'd bunt, and they
true.
still did that. So
Not only did they bunt, it was a suicide squeeze.
yeah, and it worked.
Yes, it did. And boy, talk about a risky play.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
So
My
again,
gosh.
to that point, I mean, I say that they probably wouldn't, but who knows?
It is high school baseball.
It is. A shooter fits that one in there for strike one. Oh, 1 count. Shooter fires. It's upstairs and misses high. That one right about the same level of the top of the numbers here on the uniform. So 1-1 count. Shooter sets, fires. 2-1 is the count. Shooter fires. This is fouled away for strike 2. Shooter just missed outside, ball 3. Three-two count. This is fouled away. Pitch on the way. Fouled off again, so we'll do the 3-2 dance over. Fires. Ball 4, loads the bases and puts Henry Shooter in something of a pickle. With nobody out. Brings to the plate here, Dallas Witcher. Shooter fires. Swung on, missed here by Witcher. Puts him down 0-1 in the count. Jason Martinez and Bodie Martiak have been out in the pen working. Let's see if there's any change there. Shooter fires. This is lifted. Got underneath that and fouled it away. Down 0-2 now. An opportunity for Shooter to try and come up with strike 3. Shooter fires. Swing and a miss. One away. So that'll bring up Adrian Bellinger with bases loaded and one away now. Lake Travis already leading 10-0. This gets fouled away to get it started. And that one bounced back off the barrel, and Contreras took the brunt of that one.
Fouled it off and caught Contreras. Umpire going out to give Osby a little bit of time to gather himself.
When you probably about the third or fourth time here in district play that Contreras has bared the brunt of one of those kind of fouled off hits.
Yeah, it's not an easy position to play. Quite the opposite, hardest position in baseball.
It's taken something of a beating behind the plate this season as this one inside and just off the plate, about a foot off the plate to be exact, and it's a 1-1 count. Shooter fires. This one swung on, missed for strike 2 as a 1-2 count as Henry Shooter nears pitch number 30. Pitch on the way. Bellinger pops that one straight up.
Get ready for a bang. Oh, it missed the roof.
It missed the roof entirely. It is impressive and not easy to do when you pop it up like that.
Not at all.
One-two count.
Besa in on the grass again.
And this one fouled off again.
Base is in so he can make the play at home, thinking home and first double play.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we give ourselves extra range.
It's upstairs for ball 2. Two-two count here. Henry Shooter, who's worked himself back to an even count. Bellinger doing well here from the plate. This one, I say, came around. That's strike 3, and that's out number 2. Shooter one away from getting you out of the inning without any additional damage being dealt. Brings back up Kilgo, so we're back to the top of the order. With bases loaded and time call taken here is Shooter fidgeting with his glove. Maybe trying to tighten it or something came undone on it. Not quite sure. But it is fixed and play will resume as Shooter from the windup fires. And that's upstairs. Ball 1. Just a bit over the zone. From the 1-0, Shooter sets, fires, kill, go. Can't catch up with that one, and that puts in at an even 1-1 on the count. Shooter sets, deals. Strike 2. Shooter, a 1-2 pitch, fouled away out towards the away side parking lot, which I couldn't help but notice earlier tonight was vacant. They've got this art fest setting up back here on the typical, I would say, parking side of it, back here behind the scores table or the scores box, press box, whatever you'd like to refer to it as. Earlier this season when they had a track meet, we had to park, on the away side, and they've set up this art fest is at least in part of one of those parking lots. It looks like where the marching band might practice. As that's a base hit, gets through. 1 run will score, and Anderson able to make the throw to Javi Godinez. And so it'll only go as a base hit single. And not just that, but an RBI single.
Wait, could we have a mulligan to do this game again?
You know, earlier tonight we were talking about the rain delay and the possibility of this game getting postponed into tomorrow, and they said no. You know, we didn't necessarily want that to happen because we were already here. I'm thinking Maroons are sitting around thinking maybe we should have done that. 1-0 count here from Shooter. Shooter fires this inside, gets away from Contreras. 2-0 count. Is at the plate right now, C.J. Hansford. Shooter comes back. After falling behind 2-0, fires and finds the zone here against Hansford. A 2-1 count. Shooter delivers. That's in there for strike two. Bases remain loaded. Shooter fires. That gets through. It's a base hit. And so one scores.
Henry
Here
needs
comes
to hurry
two.
up. I mean, he's just lollygagging right out in the middle of the field. He needs to be backing up Contreras. About to get taken out by the runner scoring from second. And here comes Coach A. I don't think he can take that body language either.
No, Jason Martinez will take Henry Shooter's place on the mound. And maybe not. Martinez came out with Coach A. And there's a conversation.
I mean, when the ball is in play, you got to give your best effort and go as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Lollygagging is not going to help anybody.
Yeah.
And you may be disappointed that you gave up the hit. Save that for after the play is stopped.
Yeah. So Martinez will take over on the mound. And while he gets set and warms up, how about we pay some bills? We'll take a quick break here on the Vibe Live Network.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert. Welcome to Covert Chevrolet in beautiful Bastrop, Texas, where small town values drive big time savings. At Covert Bastrop, we understand what matters to you most. A good deal, great service, and dealing with people you trust. What matters to you matters to us. Rooted in family values since 1909, the Coverts have been serving Central Texas for 6 generations. We want to be your car dealer. Let us prove it. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive. CovertBastrop.com.
Welcome back in. Jason Martinez still getting a little loose here on the mound as he comes in relief of Henry Shooter. Now, the situation he comes into has 2 runners on. There's a pair on, one at first, one at second. So he does have one in scoring position, but he comes in a favorable situation despite the score on the scoreboard being 13-0 in Lake Travis's favor. He comes in with 2 outs already, so doesn't have to do too much to get you out of this inning, or out of this half inning rather, and send you into the bottom of the 4th, where the Maroons are going to look to try and put a dent in the scoreboard on their end of things.
Yeah, Jason comes into the game with 21 2/3 innings pitched. He's won 1, lost 1, given up 23 hits, 13 runs, walked 16, struck out 10. He's got a 4.20 ERA, which is on up there among the team leaders. He's got a 1.80 whip. It's been quite a find on the mound out there for the Maroons this year. The lefty, junior, competitor, dual sport athlete.
Yeah. Seen him on the football field. We'll see him again here in the fall. Assuming, as my joke has been, that the fans of Austin High have not grown tired of this voice being on their broadcasts and in their living rooms, okay? Trust me, I hope that you haven't. Enjoy this a little bit too much. For my own good, probably.
I think the passion comes through the speakers there, David
There you
Roy.
go. Martinez sets, delivers. Dropped that one. Contreras doesn't quite find the zone, though. It's a little bit too far inside. And it'll go for the 1-0 count. 1 in scoring position, 2 on as a whole. Besa is back. Behind the bag at first as this is fouled away. 4 strike 1. It's almost a complete polar opposite of what we've seen Besa been doing at first. Now, again, he's got to hold the runner there, but, I mean, he is playing back almost into shallow right at this juncture, as opposed to playing so far in on the grass as he was earlier tonight, as this is way upstairs and outside for ball 2.
Yeah, the farther back you play, obviously it gives you more time to react to the ball. Of course, you know, you're a dead duck for a bunt, but I don't think Lake Travis is going to be bunting up 13-0.
I would be surprised if they did, as this is swung on and missed. 4 strike 2. And of course, currently at the plate right now is Cole Argent. He's worked himself into a 2-2 count. Martinez checks over shoulder to the lead runner, comes back, fires. Out one. Off speed. And it stays high. Can't get it to drop into the zone, so a full count. Appreciate everybody staying up with us as we head into the 11 o'clock hour. And Martinez fires the full count pitch, fouled away to the Lake Travis side of the stands, and we will do this full count. We'll try it again.
Hey, we actually have 6 likes.
Oh, there you go.
Man, that says a lot for you guys listening. We're down 13-0, and you gave us 6 likes. We appreciate that.
Maybe they're hoping that will translate to runs.
That'd be good.
Kenny takes that off the bounce, fires that one over, and that will end the inning. Or in the top half of the inning, I should say. So we're through 3.5. Lake Travis has built up a sizable lead with the Maroons. They're looking to respond when we return here from Burger Field for the bottom of the 4th.
Nance Orthodontics is committed to providing the highest quality orthodontics for the Austin community. Dr. Nance is a board-certified orthodontist and offers Invisalign and braces to create beautiful smiles. Our friendly team is passionate about creating beautiful, life-changing smiles for all ages with the latest technological advances. Patient comfort and happiness are our highest priority. Give us a call for your complimentary consultation today.
Welcome back in. David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth with you as always. Bottom of the 4th inning. Javi Godinez getting set, and he's raring to go here
He walked his first time up.
Yeah.
One of our 2 base runners.
Senior third baseman.
We still have no hits. Let that be the color analysts. Jinx on Lake Travis.
We also have a pitching change here tonight for Lake Travis. Luke McBride's evening has concluded, and it looks like Weston McDaniel will take his place on the mound.
Let's get some base runners. We just need 2 touchdowns.
Starting to look a little bit like a football score, ain't it? As this is down in the dirt, ball 1. You know, talking about football season, Merle texted me earlier this week, I think, and maybe last week, asking, you know, we were talking about, you know, the NFHS, you know, UIL, their deal with NFHS, that NFHS has exclusive broadcasting rights. And so, you know, of course, they subcontract a lot of that out to groups like Vipe. And so, you know, we're chatting about, you know, doing what I did last night. We called softball game up in Eastview for the bi-district round as Gadinas now falls down in the count 1 and 2. We're talking about, and Merle texted me, you're still good to do football season for Austin High next year, right? And I said, yeah, I mean, as long as they want me back. But, you know, was talking about with all the graphics and the overlays and everything that, you know, we have found as Gadinas goes down on strikes here. You know, I was talking about, like, I've been doing a lot of prep for football season. Like, I'm ready for it to go. I've got all the stuff I want to do and roll out and test out and try out and things of that nature. So I'm like, you know, let's go. We're ready for it. Of course, you know, with Austin High, you're going to have a new change and going to have an interesting quarterback competition going into the fall. New coaching, new head coach, maybe some other coaching changes that haven't necessarily quite been announced just yet. Who knows?
All the feedback so far on Coach Cecil is people really like him. Great
absolutely.
Leader, good man, good good football man too.
Yeah. And Coach Cecil, I mean, he's got, you know, quite the pedigree, quite the resume that he brings with him. I mean, you know, we were standing there before the season started. I mean, you know, Coach Cecil was boasted for the history and the resume that he brought with him. You know, coming to Austin High and bringing his experience and his mentality. Of course, you are staying on the defensive mind a little bit there in Coach Cecil, but there's nothing wrong with that. As Osby Contreras, nothing wrong with being in a 1-2 count. Just want to see him choke up here and protect the plate. Pitch on the way from McDaniel. That one's outside for ball 2.
Yeah, that's 86 low and outside.
You know, talking about the future of things too. Contreras, of course, going into next season, he'll, you know, be coming into his senior year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
You know, and so you're, you know, few seniors coming out, but the one thing that's been talked about, we heard it at the baseball bonanza, both from some of these varsity guys and from a lot of the coaches that, you know, we've talked to. It's this sophomore class that has been really on the receiving end a lot of praise for what's coming up in this baseball program that Coach A trying to build here.
Pretty good freshman class too, as I understand it.
That's right. As Contreras takes there for ball 4, that'll put a runner on with 1 out, and that'll bring up Jane Besa. But, you know, guys like Martiak, Carter, they're going to be coming up here as well and continue to work as Landon Shipper will courtesy run here for Osby Contreras. But then you add in, you know, some of the guys that we saw on the day of the Maroon Bonanza, and, you know, guys like Tony Dominguez and what he brings to the table, and as you said, some of these freshmen that, you know, give them another couple years in the strength and conditioning program, let them get some height, you know, put some muscle on a little bit more and see them flourish. And we talked then that the future is bright for this Maroon program.
Yeah, the key for us is we have to retain those kids. Those kids have to continue through the program and want to play. We have a lot of players that could be helping this team right now that have chosen not to play.
Yeah.
Some pitchers, some big hitters, and you know, if you think back, ball in the dirt, if you think back to maybe just a couple of years ago when Westlake was playing for the state championship, I think they had a roster of about 27 guys. 21 of those 27 were seniors. So, unfortunately, right now we have some guys decided, I'm not going to play, so I'm just not going to go out for the team.
Sure.
Where, obviously, if you have 21 seniors, not all 21 seniors play at the same time, nor do they all get through the rotation. So, somehow we have to change our mindset that if you're a baseball player and you truly are loyal forever, you're going to come out, you're going to do everything you can. You got people like Drew Anderson, Gage Pitt out there as Besa hits that one.
That is left out in the left field, and the left fielder able to get underneath it. And Chipper will have to return to first.
Those guys could have, easily not come out this year. They kind of had senioritis and just kind of coast into it, but
sure,
they stayed with it, and they've made this team better.
And it's something we continue to talk about. The concern isn't even just, guys necessarily falling out. We talk about the idea of just stay in the pool. Guys will get out naturally on their own, but it's the concern of, something that we've talked about, maybe internally, is a concern of guys not necessarily leaving the program in the sense of they don't want to play baseball, they fall out of love with the game, whatever, but more that they leave the district to go play it for somebody else.
Sure.
And the concern that has as this is lifted over and thrown out at first, and that will retire the side. And that'll take us in here to the top of the fifth inning as the Maroons trail by 13. We'll take a quick break. When we return, the top of the fifth, and Jason Martinez goes back to work on the mound. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jenny Covert. Welcome to Covert Chevrolet in beautiful Bastrop, Texas, where small town values drive big time savings. At Covert Bastrop, we understand what matters to you most. A good deal, great service, and dealing with people you trust. What matters to you matters to us. Rooted in family values since 1909, the Coverts have been serving Central Texas for 6 generations. We want to be your car dealer. Let us prove it. Covert Chevrolet, Highway 71 in Bastrop. Together, let's drive. CovertBastrop.com.
Back in here, David Roy, James Scott here in the broadcast booth with you as always. We come in to the top of the fifth inning. Jason Martinez gonna step up to the mound, and barring a crazy 13 runs scored in the bottom of the fifth, which has been done before. In fact, more than that has been done in a half inning before. But barring that, Martinez may be the one to end the night here on the mound for the Maroons.
We only need 4 runs, not 13 in the bottom of the fifth. Unless we give up
I'm sorry.
more.
You need 4. I'm talking in terms of getting yourself back into this game. There you go.
2 touchdowns.
It's exactly right. Hey, it can be done. Okay, but to your point, only need 4 runs in the bottom of the fifth inning to prevent a run rule, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, man, come on. You don't want to go out like this. Let's put it together. Looking ahead to the bottom of the fifth, we have Patrick Bird, Gage Pitt, Logan Kinney scheduled.
So some seniority down there, right?
Yeah.
Some experience that comes up to the plate in the bottom of the fifth inning.
We certainly want to get a hit. I mean, my gosh, you don't want to go out on a no-hitter, combined no-hitter at that.
So Martinez sets, and play will resume. He'll fire this one downstairs, below the knees for ball one. Martinez fires again. 2-0 now the count as he falls behind here. Martinez fires. This one popped in the air, fouled away. So 2-1 count. Got some high school baseball going at this hour. Got some college ball still going at this hour, from my understanding. As the Texas A&M Aggies, not the fake Aggies that you referred to from last week, but the actual Aggies are in town in their series against University of Texas. As this is popped, sent into right field, Schreiber tracks it down. That's out number one. Martinez coming in, throwing strikes.
Amazing what happens when you throw strikes.
Well, and so it's I hadn't considered it, or at least it's been brought back into the mindset that the idea of it is it's a little bit twofold, right? That from a pitching standpoint, not throwing strikes, is maybe a myriad of a few different things, right? Sometimes you're maybe getting a little too cute with your pitch selection. You're maybe getting a little too cute with the pitches you are throwing, trying to be a little bit more finesse, trying to work the corners a little bit too much, what have you. But then there's the other aspect of it, which it's a confidence and a faith in the 9 guys, the 8-9 guys around you, right? That you're throwing strikes that, sure, okay, you put it in play. The confidence that you have on the mound that everybody else around you will be able to do their part and get the out or make that play to keep the run from scoring, keep the runner from advancing, et cetera. Whatever the case may be. And there's that aspect of it too. And on nights like tonight and things like that, sometimes maybe your confidence gets shaken there on the mound as a result of it or what have you. And you just have to be able to clear the mechanism, as you put it, and just reset and have faith in the guys that you have spent all season working with.
Yeah. Right. Well put. Well put, David Roy.
3-1 count. Goes for ball 4. Puts a runner on.
So that's our 6th walk of the evening here in the 5th inning. So we got 13 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Lake Travis. No runs, no hits, 2 errors for Austin High. It looks like Coach A is going to make a pitching change. Martinez did a great job.
And we will have much more than just a pitching change.
He's making wide.
This is a widespread changes here tonight. So we're going to go through and set everything here in just a moment.
Number 2, Javi Medina. Number 12, Logan Kennedy.
Widespread changes across the board and a lot of shaking of hands to the seniors who have given so much to the Maroons in their time here
Left fielder, number 7, Drew Anderson.
And a lot of praise.
Thank you, Drew. Enjoy your trip. It's very much appreciated.
And so we are working through the numbers. Landon Shipper will take out into right field.
Number 8, Javier Cruz.
Javi Cruz will take to the mound here. Carter Hayden and Dane Calvert will come into the infield. It looks like Hayden will play at second, Calvert at short. Ames Alejandro will take over at third. Bodie Martiak will take over at first. Interesting that we will see Martiak come into the infield as opposed to being out in the outfield where we've seen him for the better part of the season when he has come in. And trying to get the finality of your outfield here. Of course, we have Shipper out and right. Contreras will remain behind the plate. Charlie Dice, it appears, will be out and left. And I have not been able to get a clear look. It appears it'll be Luke Whalen out at center field.
All right.
So changes all around here tonight as Javi Cruz comes in with a runner on and one away. And Cruz finds his own for strike one.
Cruz has a lot of talent, a lot of movement on his pitches. His key is just throwing strikes.
He starts out with one. 0-1 count, Cruz. This pitch fouled away. 0-2 count here for Javi Cruz. Cruz fires for strike three, and that's two away now here in the top of the fifth. Good no pressure situation to bring Javi Cruz in, get him some reps at this level. You know, you're down, sure, 13-0, so no pressure there in that regard. And you already come in with one out and only a runner on at first. And Javi Cruz
is showing great control right now. That was 80 on the
strikes.
corner. Wow. Let's go, Javi.
Javi Cruz is going to contest and make a case for being one of the key starters on the mound in the rotation next season. The 0-1 count here for Cruz. Cruz, this one outside. And a 1-1 count. Cruz sets from the windup.
68-mile-an-hour curveball.
Just off about a foot, maybe 6 inches. Too far outside, low and away. And a 2-1 count here for Javi Cruz. With 2 away and a runner on. This comes back inside.
Lake Travis did us a favor by not taking third on that wild pitch. That runner had a lot of speed, and he was there and could have taken it.
Would have been a good repetition, if you would, or some good experience earned by this mass substitution here. 3-1 count. Cruz from the windup. That's outside, ball 4. And that's 2 on now. Runners at first and second. Two away. Cruz Sets. The wind up, fires. That one a bit high and inside for Dallas Witcher. Would have been, what, the 7th one to get hit by a pitch, probably the 4th one to take one on the noggin. That one's high and upstairs again, and Contreras gives up 90 feet there, trying to get back to it. Two-0 count. 2 in scoring position. That one just got away from Contreras, and in the aftermath, a little bit of delay from Lake Travis on whether or not to go. Some of the inexperience on their roster, they froze a little bit, like, should we go? Should we not go? And then they finally do. And it's a 2-1 count. Contreras certainly got to be feeling gassed behind the plate tonight. 2-1 count, 2 away. Cruz fires. That's in there for strike 2. Two count. Cruz delivers. Down away, but a really nice job by Osby Contreras. Could have given up an extra 90 feet if Contreras had not been so quick with the glove. And a reach across his body, but he does snag it, so a full count here. The payoff pitch on the way from Cruz. And it is fouled off to the Lake Travis side. So full count still. We'll do the 3-2 again. This one skipped back over to first. Martiak flips it to Cruz. Cruz cannot get there. Just off the outstretched glove, and that will score 2 on the air.
Cruz broke late to first.
Puts a runner on in Dallas Witcher, and that gives Lake Travis a 15-0 lead with a runner on and 2 away. And again, we talk about learning experiences right now for a lot of this youth and depth as Cruz fires. Down away, the throw back to first. Witcher didn't immediately go back to the bag, and a little bit of a dangerous spot. Martiak getting some repetitions at first base for the first time this season, it seems like. I don't think he played at first at all in the tournaments either. He was always out in right field.
I don't remember any.
As this one got away from Contreras, that one was way upstairs, and ball 2 allows Witcher to advance. Of course, we talked about it, and I think it was one of the things that Coach A, we talked about at the tournament, that the size of Martiak, that reach he has, he certainly can play at first. As Cruz fires outside, ball 3. Another walk. 4-pitch walk.
Batter for Lake Travis, number 12, Colin Gardner.
And that'll bring up Cullen Gardner. Although I think they were calling him Bucky, and I'm not quite sure where that comes in at. One-0 count here from Cruz. Well set, delivers. That's in there for strike 1. The 1-1, that gets away from Contreras. It was down in the dirt and away, and Contreras could not glove it quite in time. And so that puts 2 in scoring position. After already giving up 2. Here in the top half of the inning. This is popped by Garner. That gets through into the gap. Base hit, and he'll score 1. And puts runners at the corners.
Travis, number 29, Ella Jr.
Pitch on the way. 1-0 count. Cruz fires. It's inside. Ball 2. This soft grounder over to first. Bodie Martiak scoops it up, makes the play, and that'll end the inning after 3 more given up in the top of the 5th. And Lake Travis will take a 16-0 lead going into the bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, David Roy, not a lot to talk about with this game at all. Hopefully we can find a little momentum with our bats here at the bottom of the 5th. We'll see who's going to be up with all these mass changes. I'm not sure if Coach A is going to let the seniors hit again or if that's it. In high school baseball, you can re-enter. But from a season perspective, you know, I think obviously the highlight of the season is the Dripping Springs win.
Sure,
you know,
100%.
We got started off with Stony Point. That was a good close game. Went down to Sinton and was only able to get in 1 of those 4 games. You know, that like pretty much everybody in the state except for those in Laredo. We were canceled due to weather. Those 3 games, I think, hurt this team probably more than anybody else because we were still trying to figure out the right pieces, come back in, have the San Antonio tournament, the one up here in Leander, and then get into district. You know, the big costly series to us, and the only series that we lost, and really maybe the only game that we lost where we should have, was the Del Valle series.
Yeah.
Now, Del Valle was a lot hotter then, and they had, you know, like I said earlier, they lost 3 of their best players after they faced us, but we should have been able to just out-athlete them. The first game here at Berger, that was just a snake-bitten game where they just happened to put like 4 hits in a row in 1 inning, scored all 3 runs, I believe, in the 3rd inning.
Mm-hmm.
We were hitting line drives. It just happened to be right at the Del Valle guys. And then, of course, we go out there to their place and had a lead. They came back and tied it, I believe. We took the lead again, and we couldn't hold it. But the rest of the season, I can't really say that we were beaten by a team that was not better than us. I think if you look at Bowie, they ended up being certainly a better team. This is Ames Alejandro stepping in. So it looks like we're going to kind of finish where we probably should have. And obviously the highlight of the season is the big Dripping Springs win.
Yeah. 1-1 on the count. And this one down in the dirt for ball 2.
Ames Alejandro, 11 games played. He's 2 for 11. Driven in 1, scored 3.
Currently working against Grayson Blair on the mound, who comes in to close out the ninth. And that is going to be in there for ball 3. Blair has lost his hat on these last couple of pitches. And you know what that means? Moving his head too much on the delivery.
Either that or he needs a smaller cap.
No, that too. There he is again.
Yeah, some of these guys think it's stylish, like they're throwing faster if their hat flies off, cap flies off. It's like it doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
It usually points to a mechanical error of some capacity
Sure.
for you as off the mound. There it is again.
I mean, if it was me, I'd get a smaller cap because I'd be tired of bending down and picking it up. But that's just me. Maybe opposed to 7.5, you need a 7 1/4. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Jason Martinez stepping in. This is his 20th game played. Got 40 plate appearances. Hitting 156 with a 308 on base percentage. 4 RBI, 4 runs scored. Walked 7 times.
Martinez here takes the first one for ball 1 and takes for ball 2. 1-0 pitch, low and inside, right at the ankles. So a 2-0 count. Blair fires, check swing here from Martinez. And that does fit in there for strike 1. The 2-1, Blair. That's in there for strike 2.
I wonder if it's a stylish thing for him. He thinks it looks cool. It's cool for the chicks.
I don't know.
Boy, they talk about repetitive motion issues with your arm, usually not your back, from pinning it down and picking up your head again.
It's thrown, and Martinez a hit over to second. Thrown out at first. That's 2 away, and we'll bring Dane Calvert to the plate. I'm telling you, I'm thinking it's just, I don't know. I don't know if it, like I said, usually it points to a head motion thing, but you may be right. It just may be too big of a cap.
You could have a crazy head motion and keep your cap on if it's the right size.
That's true.
Maybe he had to borrow his bigger brother's cap. I don't know.
Fires.
Actually, it reminds me of what James would look like if he wore one of my suits. Anyway, Dane Calvert up. Quite possibly the last batter for the Maroons. Hopefully I just jinxed it so he won't be.
There you go.
Down, was that 15? That's 16. 16 to nothing.
Check swing here. Strike 2.
Calvert's scored 5 runs, hadn't driven in a run, walked 3 times.
Pitch on the way. That's upstairs. Ball 1. Calvert takes from Blair, and that is for ball 2, so that evens up the count. Of course, they got it here. It's a 2-1 in Stadium. I've got it's 2-2. Blair from the windup. Fires, swing, and a miss. Okay, maybe they were right. Somehow it gave us an extra strike and wasn't there yet. Okay.
Well, you and our game changer guy were on the same page.
All right. Don't know how I got off on that, but okay. 2-2 the count now, not 2-1. Blair fires. Calvert pops this one back towards the gymnasium. So we will do the dance of the 2-2 pitch over again. A wind up from Blair, swung on and missed from Dane Calvert, and that will do it.
Next ball game.
Well, not a pretty one, but it will be the last one for the vast majority of the Austin High seniors. We got 19 different devices out there watching right now. We really appreciate you guys hanging in here with us to the bitter end. It's 11:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is at least an hour after what we normally
End
play
it, yeah.
or end. Yeah, so not a lot to
Started 2
say.
hours late. No, not
Yeah.
much to say. You just game one in this series, it was close. It was a 3-1 victory for Lake Travis at Lake Travis on Tuesday night, and then Lake Travis said, "Yeah, enough of that." They came in here and they took care of business and showed off the talent. So,
Yep, so the Maroons will finish 6-19 this year. So, again,
and they'll finish 3-9 in district. So still finish ahead of Del Valle and Aikens, but just misses the cutoff for the playoffs. And so they will wrap up and conclude their season here tonight. And they've got a banner here for Lake Travis. We don't know if they're district champions yet or not. Kind of depends, but they're certainly up there on a. They'll tie for it at the very least, assuming there's not a tie tomorrow between Westlake and Dripping Springs, and that'll help to sort out and determine who wins the district. But for the Maroons and for these seniors, a congratulations to them and to their season. They are getting a standing ovation, and they are being waving to the crowd here at the Maroons. And I think that's a good enough note to leave it on here from Burger Field. Lake Travis gets a win tonight. They'll head into the playoffs next week, and that'll do it for us. 16-0, the final score after 5 here from Burger Field to wrap up the Maroon season. As for the rest of us here, for the Maroons crew, we'll see you back in the fall for football season. So that'll do it for all of us on behalf of our entire broadcast crew. I'm David Roy signing off here as part of the Vibe Live Network for Maroons baseball. Thank you all for tuning in this season, and we'll see you back in August for Maroon football. Have a good night, everyone.